She was born here, and she is a nun in Bethlehem. She is a nun. She is a nun amongst the original Christian people. Okay. Like the people that if you do their DNA test, they are the direct descendants of like the original Christians. They've been there since like the Canaanites, and then they are the first Christians. So
well, that's also the thing about a lady who happens to look like this is that in reality, she's probably as close to looking like Jesus actually would have looked like.
She's an American.
Yeah.
This is an American woman who now lives there.
Now, I don't want to single out any one particular person, but anybody who's been paying attention to the Zionazis online, they have all been going after this woman because she is a very homely and unattractive person, but that's on purpose because her mission in life is to serve God and nothing more. And I respect that.
This is the dumbest quote or the dumbest tweet. Like, who, you push lies to justify your Jew hate. I don't like, who are these people?
So we've seen all of the other Jewish Zionazis say the same bullshit, but we have to keep a balance here because the one thing that we have pointed out time and again is that Judaism and Zionism are not one and the same. In fact, there is a much more sizable Christian Zionist population in the United States. Although I think we really have to stop calling it a Christian Zionist population.
I think she might be Greek Orthodox. She had spoken about it a little bit, but she lives in the old cities in the original. Yeah.
Yeah.
Anywho, I thought you were going to play the clip.
No, I am in a minute, but I want to preface this with this pastor, Greg Locke. Again, it's not about are you a Christian Zionist, are you an evangelical Zionist? Because that's really what it is. The Catholics, for the most part, are not on board with any of this, but the evangelicals are. And it is a huge reason why in so many states, led by Texas, where they basically, you are committing a crime if you speak out against Israel. And the reason they do that in Texas is because there is no state with a greater population of evangelicals that support this idea of radical support for the state of Israel. That's where it comes from. That's where the Hagees come from. That's where the Austins come from. But even Pastor Locke here happens to come from Tennessee, Lebanon, Tennessee, to be exact, which is, I believe, a suburb of Nashville. And so this is what this douche canoe is.
The propaganda machine has tried to destroy the credibility of your people in Israel. But we break that spirit of propaganda on the internet that has lied and sowed discord and deception, especially to the younger generation, because we know that your word still stands. When you looked at Abraham and you said, I will bless them that bless you, and I will curse them that curse you. And God, may we be a people that will never compromise or flinch in the face of adversity when it comes to the Jewish nation.
Now pay me my money. I mean, that's the first thing he's thinking about, isn't it?
Well, this is just the hypocrisy of everything. But this is the person who was criticizing Tucker for speaking with the nun?
Correct. Well, he's real Christian.
So the interview with her is much more interesting than this, right? Like, I don't know why you focus on this douche.
Just wanted to give you guys an idea of why these evangelical nut jobs like this guy, Locke, is coming out and making this statement, because in an abbreviated version, you're going to see exactly what the message was that Mother Agapia was putting out there on Tucker's interview. Remember, why are they coming after Tucker so hard? This has been pointed out by Glenn Greenwald multiple times. Tucker Carlson today has the biggest podcast on Spotify. That's the reason.
Like many Jews are protesting and saying, not in our name. There has to be much more done by the Christians in America because these Christian Zionists are speaking in our name. Someone like Ted Cruz is saying and doing what he's doing because he's following a Christianity that is not the Christianity of the Holy Land.
You know that's going to set him off. You know that's going to set off all of the Zionist donors. And remember, so much of this is wrapped up in money and power.
But she really gives Tucker an education on how hard it is. And you can tell now, granted, this is the kind of shit that bothers me, where he cares a lot when she's saying how hard it is for Christians to practice their religion there. And it is. If you're Christian and you live in the occupied West Bank and you want to practice your religion at your holy sites that are in Jerusalem, you can't go there. You can't go there. And it's right there. Like, it's right there, but you can't go there. So when she's explaining to him how Israel basically prohibits Christians from practicing Christianity and makes it very difficult for them to practice their faith. And you could tell that he is very disturbed by that. And so it's like, I'm glad to see he's getting an education and an awakening, but it bothers me that it's like it only bothers him in as much as more so how it's affecting Christians versus just how it's affecting everyone who's not Jewish.
No, but he has spoken out against the state of Israel
recently. This is very new to him, but yes.
We are commanded as Christians to support the government of Israel?
We are commanded to support Israel.
It's a heretical belief.
What is Christian Zionism?
Mm-hmm. It's sort of this cruel bargain they have going with Israel, because basically what they say that they're going to be swooped up into heaven, right? And then there's going to be 1,000-year kingdom, and then there'll be the end of the world and the judgment by Christ, and he'll come back. This is a false, it was condemned as a heresy in 381, because basically there is no 1,000-year millennium to come. No 1,000-year period. We are in that time period now.
I mean, think about everything that's going on all around us. It's pretty rough.
Yeah.
He's right. And the fact that she charges like a bull at Ted Cruz is, again, I mean, Ted Cruz, he is the worst of the worst, but he's also the senator from Texas. And Texas is the most prominent state in the nation that houses the most evangelical Christians. It's the second most populous state in the country, and there are millions upon millions of evangelical Christian Zionists that are in that state. And so for her to go directly at him is an affront to everything that they've been preaching.
It's a false belief there.
So basically what they're arguing is that Jesus coming the first time wasn't enough?
Yeah, and it's like, in a way, it's denying the Messiah.
That's where, you can sort of see. So people like her are sort of like, she's the Christian equivalent of like Rabbi Shapiro, right? Like, she is the one that's recognizing what people have done and how they have totally bastardized their religions and trying their best to put it out there that no, that's not how this is supposed to go. I appreciate what she was doing, but you could see, I mean, guys, if you get a chance to watch that interview with Tucker Carlson, it's actually really good, where she explains to him exactly how challenging it is to be a Christian in the birthplace of Christianity.
And why do you think that is?
Why is it difficult?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I know why it is. It's because the apartheid. So you've got, Israel with their illegal settlements and the border walls and the illegal highways, and they build things.
Is it a big, beautiful wall? That's all.
Big, beautiful wall. Well, something that Tucker found out in this interview in particular that was very interesting is that in one location where the wall is that Israel built to, of course, keep the Palestinians on their side, was literally built through what was a Christian school. And they had to tear down the Christian school to build this wall. And she explains it, the wall is actually inside Palestine. So they expanded their border when they did it, and they took out a Christian school in the process. So, this is a lot of this gets lost in this sort of Jew versus Muslim narrative that we sort of perceive this as when we look at Israel versus Palestine. It's like this very Jew versus Muslim concept, but it isn't. It's Zionism versus everyone else. And the Christians are just as screwed in this mess as the Muslims.
Whatever it's going to take to end it is ultimately what we have to get on board with. That's why sometimes our supporters make strange bedfellows, and we do have another clip from Mother Agapia with Tucker Carlson.
Could have a Christian APAC group. Of course, going on.
Like, you're not allowed to shoot up the Church of the Nativity. Sorry. No. I mean, even if you're agnostic on the politics of it or whatever, which is fine, maybe preferable, but you can't do that to Christians. How about no?
I agree 100%.
Where's Ted Cruz in all this? Ted Cruz talks about how he's a Christian. Mike Johnson, as the Speaker of the House, talks about how he's a Christian. They talk about it a lot.
We have to battle AIPAC and the Christian Zionists by the Christians standing up, say, not in my name. We can't be doing this. So if they're getting money from these organizations, then Christians have to have enough concern to say, I don't want this happening in my name.
She'd be a great guest for Casey.
Yeah.
I don't think Casey does guests, but she would be. But that's what I'm saying. She's the Christian equivalent of a lot of the very Orthodox Jews that have been saying, no, this is not what we're with. And I think that she made a very good point of explaining how it's like that's their battle to fight is amongst her own people. That they're, just like I feel like that with my tribesmen.
Well, that's why I think the message that she's putting out there is an excellent message, because unfortunately, as I will continue to maintain, the biggest problem that we have in the United States right now in the Jewish communities is that they are cowards. Like, they're fucking cowards. They will not speak out, even though I am sure you have spoken to quite a few of them who have said, I don't agree with this, but I don't exactly want to have to ostracize myself from my, friends and family. Well, guess what? They're not your friends and they're not your family if they think that their lives are more important than somebody else's. But a lot of people feel that way. It's not.
Well, for a lot of people, and I've said this before, it's livelihood too. And I do not begrudge people needing to survive in this world. So, I understand it to some extent, and everything is contextual. Every situation is slightly different.
That's true, but there's still no excuse. I make that decision every day, knowing that there are people in my line of work that I could work with, but I know that if I do, I wouldn't be able to live with myself because I know that.
And if you had a wife and kids, your perspective on that might be different.
I wouldn't put myself in that position.
Okay. My point is that it's not, don't judge. People have to do what they have to do.
I get it.
No, and to my brothers in Christ.
Right. We're supposedly a country based on a Judeo-Christian heritage, right? So where is that Judeo-Christian heritage when you're destroying the very foundations of it? St. Jerome translated the Bible in Bethlehem. The cells where he was at are under the Church of the Nativity. The very roots of our Christian heritage are there, and we're letting it be destroyed.
What would you say to Ted Cruz, the self-proclaimed Christian, supporting tank shells fired at crosses? Like, what is that?
We have to defend Christian values, American values.
She's right.
Well, and that makes sense. And notice how she says them separate. She is, she's very clear. This is both Christian values and American values. They're separate.